Hey there, everybody! Welcome to the new show, this wonderful new show, Sid².
Hey.
I believe that's what we called it.
Yep.
Because that's what I ordered the graphic to be. So.
But that's what it is now. That's what it wasn't going to be.
Welcome to the show. I'm Sid.
I am also Sid.
Two Sids. What a clever idea for a show.
There we go.
This show, if you don't know what it's about, since it's the first one, it's about, I guess, nostalgia and its unhealthy effects on the brain.
Yeah, kind of like obscure-ish nostalgia.
Niche interests.
Yeah, because I feel like what was obscure when we were younger isn't as obscure
Nothing's
now.
obscure now. I think everything has its own fan base now because of the internet, and there's no separation.
Right, but you know, like when you were a kid and like you were in school and you were one of like the 3 kids who watched anime. Now apparently everybody watches anime.
But, so yeah, this is what the show is tailor-made for. It's just a little outlet for maybe you just want to do the dishes and you want to listen to some nerds talk about...
Do people do the dishes?
I did the dishes once.
I don't do the dishes.
You don't do you, folks, do you do the dishes? Write in.
I clean the cat boxes in my house.
Okay, I haven't done that. Never.
And my husband does the dishes, and it's a very unsaid agreement between the two of us, but it works.
I guess if it works, it works.
Works.
All right. Well, I guess on today's episode, what was our subject that we wanted to talk about? Was there anything we wanted to talk about in particular?
Were we gonna do 90s video stores?
Video stores, yes. A big part of my upbringing, at least the memories that I haven't, destroyed due to tragedy.
Oh!
Are the video store. Going to the video store.
Yeah, I mean, that was like the biggest part of our childhood because we didn't have unlimited access to everything.
No, it was hard to get like...
Sorry. And we're off!
There we go. No, picture this, audience. It's a Friday night. You're off school. You didn't get any bad grades that day. Pop's got the keys. You're going down to the premiere video. And
we didn't have that in Mount Vernon.
What did you have in Mount Vernon?
Well, for a little bit of time, we had this wonderful place called Circus Video, which is like a 90s kid's fever dream.
Okay.
Like, if I had the money, I have dreams about, like, somebody buying the building and making it again, which is impossible because the building is demolished.
Put a pin in that because I have a note to that.
Okay, but it's like you walked in, and in the middle of it was a Godfather's Pizza.
Oh, perfect combination.
And then to the left was a video store.
Okay.
To the right was like an arcade and a ball pit and party rooms, and then they eventually started renting out video games as well. And then like the front there was like a prize counter. So it was like the go-to like birthday party place.
That sounds like heaven.
It was, you always begged your parents to take you, and your parents were like, no, we're not going. You're like, but Circus Video. And then I think they closed down because of something with taxes.
It always is.
Because our other like main video store was called Wildcat Video because everything.
I do remember Wildcat Video.
Yeah, and I think they went down for taxes too.
I believe the store I went to early I cannot remember the name of it, but it was just a little hole in the wall, little video store next to The Simpsons down on the poorest part of Evansville, because that's where I grew up. But in there, they had every video that they didn't have a premiere video, like all the weird titles. Like that's where I got some of my first anime was from that. Edit that out. No, it wouldn't be like you're just your basic Gundam or something. No, it'd be something very weird. It'd be like Video Girl Eye, and like, okay, what's this all about? Little 7-year-old Sid, what's this? Like, and then it blew my mind open. What is
this?
What?
See, I don't think I really stumbled into like weird, not even weird, anime. Mine wasn't until like we went to Hollywood Video, and I was like, oh my god, there's anime you can rent, because like we didn't have that in our little stores in Mount Vernon. I know we did have a copy of My Neighbor Totoro,
Well,
but nobody ever got to see it because I always rented it.
Out, no.
I'm like, no wonder nobody else knew about my fandoms. I took them all for myself.
You and every quirky 13-year-old in the tri-state, which...
Right, but like no one else. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, Totoro is a big thing. Now, actually, I'm wearing a Totoro.
You are actually, folks. If you can't see this at home right now, there is a Totoro jacket on her right now.
That's like my sweater. The shoulder, not the shoulder. What is it? Elbow? The elbow
parts
has dust bunnies on it. Which, like, my thing is, it's a dust bunny. That's what they call it.
That's what in the dub.
Yeah, like that's the original dub, not the Fanning sister bullshit. Like, no hate to the Fanning sisters. You're both wonderful, but I like what I grew up with. But yeah, like if it has arms and legs and it carries around star charms, that's a soot sprite.
Yes.
If it's just this little ball with eyes, that's a dust bunny. That's a dust bunny. But yeah, but like no one else at my school knew anything about My Neighbor Totoro, and now like I can go into Box Lunch and buy all the shit I want.
You could reference that in like the most mainstream of places, and someone's gonna.
And everybody always knows about it, which I mean is great. I like having more stuff.
It's a double-edged sword, I think.
It really is. It really is.
I think it was nice to have you had your own secret little world only you knew about.
Yeah,
and now everyone is in that secret world.
Well, yeah, it's like the crazy thing that you can go to the mall and there are like at least 4 stores that you can buy anime stuff at. But like when I was growing up, I was maybe one of the 4 kids at my elementary school who watched anime.
You had to be lucky that there was some immigrant Japanese family in that town that had a yard sale. That is the only way you got. That's the only reason I had an Ultraman Taiga figure in 1997.
What I want to know now is, like, all these, like, kids I went to school with who did not, like, you know, I was not friends with them. They did not talk about anime, but now they're like, oh, yeah, I've been watching anime since I was a kid. I was like, okay, who was secretly watching Toonami? That was then coming to school.
With ratings, honestly, probably a lot of them were.
Yeah, they must have been. And then they come to school and pretend like they didn't.
They're too cool for cartoons.
Probably.
Because there's that age where, you know, oh, I'm too cool to watch cartoons. And
yeah, now to be fair, I was probably one of the weird kids, and I wouldn't have wanted to be friends with me either, probably.
See, I was a weird kid, too, because I was still watching probably PBS cartoons until I was like 13 because they were so damn enjoyable.
Well, yeah, I mean... Yeah, because about the time I maybe would have started to age out of stuff, then, you know, my sister came around. And
that's true. I had my sister.
Yeah, because my sister's 10 years younger than me. So, yeah. PBS was always going in our house.
And, you know, you don't want to let go at that point because now you have this unhealthy relationship with
public
education.
That you do. Sometimes I still, like, will be making something in my kitchen, like, pretend like I'm on Zoom, because that's the one thing I wanted in life that I didn't get to do.
I want to be, I want to be on the Craft Brothers.
I
want to meet Zaboomafoo.
Hell yeah. Every ring... Wait, no, he's not a ringtail lemur. Oh my god, curb your tongue, Sydney Brienne. Yeah, no, every lemur, I'm like, it's the Boomafoo!
It's Boomafoo with the Craft Brothers!
Yeah, which feels really disrespectful to every lemur.
It is. You know, they have names.
Like, wow, you think we all look the same? And I'm like, kind of, I'm a dumb human.
Kind of do.
But... yeah, wow, we've already trailed off
really far. Really derailed from the video.
Welcome to the podcast, y'all.
Podcast. It's just general rambling.
Yeah.
For 30 minutes to an hour.
We can pick somewhat of a theme. I guess we'll have to do PBS cartoons.
At some point. This is the pilot, so forgive our mess.
I mean, you guys aren't going to listen to the pilot anyway.
No.
Think about it. When you're getting into a podcast where it's like, oh, you can't listen to the first 100 episodes. They were just getting into their groove. You have to you have to listen to episode, 206.
That's where it gets good. Well, no, dare I say... I think the first episode I did of a podcast called Frankenfiction is the best. I killed it. I killed that episode because I made the best joke that you can only do. Now, if this podcast is still going on, my friend Tommy, he does a great job on it. If you want to give him a little plug, go listen to that. But on that podcast, we would just reread bad fan fiction.
Oh my gosh!
It's called Frankenfiction.
Yes.
And it was a good concept. I loved it. And we were reading this just terrible, just the worst story ever. I can't remember what it was, but I just remembered at the very end, I added this in the snarky line, it truly was a Frankenfiction.
And there it is.
That was the best episode, because they can't top that.
Yeah, no, if you just like found a way to put it in there,
It truly was.
then why not?
Don't know where I was going with this.
Story of my life.
Where am I going? Where am I?
Welcome to 30, everybody. You won't remember anything except random shit from the 90s of going, did that happen?
I think it happened.
Oh my god, that happened. But okay, so 90s video store. What were some of your like go-to rentals? Like if you were like me, I rented the same few things every time I went.
What age are we talking here? Like
the first one you can ever remember.
Oh,
like I have two that like I distinctly remember every time I went to the video store I had to get.
Two, I do. I had two. The first one was Land Before Time 2.
That's such a good. Wait, no, or is it 3? Like, which one's the one with the bullies?
2.
2, yes.
It's always 2 for some reason.
When you're big.
I'm not gonna sing it because I'm not a singer. But no, that was the one I would always check when I went to go see my grandpa Mike, and I don't know why. I feel like I was like supposed to only pick that one,
right?
Because I'm that weird kid.
I mean, me too.
And the other was, I think, a Shining Time Christmas special. Because that one never aired.
Didn't matter what time of year it was always Christmas time.
Always Christmas. I'm gonna get Skeever's comeuppance, and then I'm gonna watch a Thomas sketch.
Right on. I think this will speak a lot to how we were as children. So.
I was that train kid, if you can picture that. Everyone remember that train kid?
Well, you always got a horse girl, train kid, like...
Horse girl, train kid, dinosaur kid.
Oh my god, dinosaur. I think my brother was the dinosaur kid. So mine, of course, my one was my neighbor Totoro.
Okay.
My other one, because Totoro was at Circus Video. Now, what I got every time I went to Wildcat Video, which will speak a lot to who I was as a child, and probably kind of who I am as a person now, was Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue.
Oh my god.
Like, they just got a mosh posh of cartoons to come talk to you about, like, not doing drugs.
Nancy Reagan's dry hump against the war on drugs.
Yeah, it was, which... It was one of those that I'm like, did I remember this correctly? And I did. But I thought, like, going back to watch it, because I found it on YouTube, that it was going to be like, oh boy, the dangers of pot. And, oh my, no, they get into some hardcore stuff on there. I was like, oh my god!
Kids into, like, black tar heroin or something.
Yes, like, I was like, we were just really straight up watching this as a kid. Like, no, I don't want to do it either. I don't want the cloud of George C. Scott following me around, making me make bad decisions. Maybe I do.
I do, but I just don't want to hang out with the chipmunks. I hated the chipmunks.
But you get to hang out with Alf while you're high.
That'd be pretty cool. Alf, high or not, I just want to hang out because I love Alf.
Right, but yeah, like that was one of those, like I had to think through. I'm like, did I remember all of this correctly? Because surely I didn't. It seemed really trippy. And I'm like, no, all of this.
It's a weird framing device, too, because all the cartoons at the beginning, they're not cartoons, they're toys of the cartoons.
Well, it's kind of like a hodgepodge, though, because, like, Winnie the Pooh is a toy, but, like, I think Garfield's a lamp.
He was a lamp, which, why wasn't he a phone? He's supposed to be a phone.
And I think the Smurfs, did they come out of a comic?
I think they came out of a comic book.
And then Slimer was just there.
This takes place in the Ghostbusters world as well. That's my kid. It's within the real Ghostbusters world.
So this is the multiverse of madness we didn't know we wanted.
For some reason, that's also coinciding with this kid's drug trip, enchanted, animated crossover of dreams.
Yeah.
Where copyright doesn't matter because the president said no. Roddy Reagan says no, we're not going to have copyright.
Right, no, but I think it actually opens with Laura Bush.
Was it Laura Bush?
Wait, no, not Laura Bush.
I thought it was Nancy Reagan.
No.
Was it Laura Bush?
Wait, which one's married to the older Bush? What a quote. Barbara. It opens with Barbara Bush. I'm damn near positive.
I mean, I have the cartoon right here. I can pull that up right now.
Of course we do.
And I'm gonna...
We do not own the rights to whatever the legal...
If I still have it. That's the thing. Yep, there we go. Cartoon All-Stars of the rest.
I'm so happy you have this.
1990, you're right. It would have been Barbara.
BAM!
Let's see. Yep.
There she is! Barbara Bush!
Barbara Bush.
Dog.
So those who are listening in, right, we are watching the clip with no audio, but It is Barbara Bush and George Sr. Ah, yes, George Sr. I can't do a good George Sr.
I don't even know what he sounds like. All I knew is, like, didn't he, like, throw up on, like, a prime minister?
He threw up on the Prime Minister of Japan, yes.
We can only hope to be a successful one day.
One day, the throw up. On Shinzo Abe. I don't know, is he still the Prime Minister? I really don't know anymore.
I don't know, I'm terrible with
ever since...
actual adult things.
Ever since the 2020 election, I've kind of, like, dropped out of politics, because I was, like, a big sigh of relief.
I think I was really out of politics, and then I got invested for a little bit, and then it went sideways, and I was like, alright, I'm out, y'all. This is a part of adulting I'm not good at. I'm not good at any part of it.
See, I buckled down more and just got angry.
I do that. It just varies from day to day. There's some days I'm really invested and I'm about it and I'm mad, and there's other days that I'm like, I am just one woman in the Midwest. What can I do? Who cares? Like, no one knows who I am. It's fine.
Oh. Okay, segueing back to topic. We are way off topic here.
Well, welcome.
And this is not a politics
No,
podcast.
It's not. No, I wouldn't.
Not gonna let that happen.
That could be funny, though, if you tried to get me, because I wouldn't know what the hell I was talking about.
Let's see how bad this year gets. Let's see how bad things are getting, and then maybe we'll switch gears, and then we'll start drinking on this.
Whew. All right.
Okay. I guess a good question for the video store atmosphere. So, did you go with your parents, or did you just go by yourself a lot?
No, I never did go by myself. Usually my papa would take us.
Okay.
Which was Pop your grandpa or your?
That's
was that just a
generic term for all fatherly figures.
Okay, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, it was my papa. Like my mom would go in tow a lot, but yeah, like my papa was the one who would take me and my brother, and then like circus video every so often we would go, but that's like the dangerous thing. Like, you can't take kids in there because then we're like, we want to jump in the ball pit. They're like, no, we're here to get a video game. Just grab the thing. Let's go.
Okay, well, I guess this is going to say a lot about my parenting. Grown phrase was, like, at 5, I was just going out for walks by myself. Like, I'd go to the little closet outside, like, get my little blue coat on. Like, I'm going for a walk. And I'd go out and walk, and I just walk around the neighborhood. And we lived fairly close to the book broker. It's still probably about a mile walk, and I'm this little 5-year-old just walking down Covert Avenue.
Oh, God!
I don't think my mom knew this, though. I think she just assumed I'm just walking outside.
So, moms, if you're listening to this...
It's the 90s. It was a different time.
Yeah, see, I grew up in an apartment complex where there was a bunch of other kids, so generally, like, we were just, like, hanging out in the apartment complex area.
And I guess maybe that was the same. We lived in a neighborhood with a lot of kids, a lot of poor kids.
Yeah. I mean, I was in an apartment complex. Like, we definitely weren't making money. Well, I didn't make money. I was a kid, but I know I did have a revelation not too long ago. I went to the grocery store and I bought a bunch of banquet meals.
Yeah.
Because, they're cheap. My kid likes Salisbury steak, and, it's a good way to eat cheap. And, like, I'm putting him into her deep freeze, and I look up and I stare across the room, and I was like, oh my God! I grew up poor!
Yeah, you did.
Like, I didn't know that as a kid. It never would have registered in my head.
No, you don't think you're poor when you're a kid. No matter how poor you really are.
Right, and it's like, I knew, like, every so often, like, I'd be like, Mom, I want a Barbie. And she'd be like, not this time, kiddo. We don't have the money. And I was like, oh, and I just thought that was a thing parents said when they didn't want to buy you something.
No, yeah, just like, they're just not in the mood. Like, oh, fuck you, Mom.
Like, and now, like, as a parent, I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to say I was spoiled as a kid, but I remember I never asked for anything that much too.
Right.
We went to the toy store. I might got one thing. I think I got one Thomas the Train, one Hot Wheel, and I was happy with that. I
mean, the one thing like I always give my parents and my papa, because he basically was like another parent, is like they did really good at like making sure we were taken care of despite like how much money we did or did not have. I didn't know, which I think is a great thing as a parent, that like your kids shouldn't worry about it, but
shouldn't know. Shout out to our family that did make us feel poor.
Go Mom, you did awesome.
You know who you are.
But if my mom my mom probably won't listen to this, but
My family will, because, oh my god, Sid, you did a thing!
well, my mom might, but, yeah, like, no, I think about, like, the things my mom did to, like, make sure, like, we were, like, entertained and we got to enjoy being a kid, like... we would get a game console for Christmas with a bunch of games, and like that would just keep us entertained.
That's the big Christmas gift.
All through the year. Like we did fine, and then we didn't have cable for a while. Which I was thinking back on when we got cable. Yeah. I thought I went a good chunk of my lifetime without cable. It's a total effing lie. We got cable, I think, like halfway through first grade, maybe. Which, what, you're 6?
Yeah, 6, 7.
6, 7?
Maybe that.
So, like, in the grand scheme of things, most of my life has had cable. But, like, from, like, when you start to remember things to 7, like, that's a long time in your childhood to not have cable.
Yeah, like, you think, well, when you're 7, that's been your whole life. That's
like,
forever.
At that point. But, like, we had so many VHS tapes, and then my mom, like, had, like, old school, like, recording a VHS tape that she would just record Saturday morning cartoons. It was Fox Kids, so it's a lot of episodes of like Animaniacs, Tiny Toon, Tasmania, that we would just watch all the time. So I'm familiar with like 6 episodes of each very, very well.
That's all you need to know. It's all syndication.
Most
6 weeks syndication.
Yeah, most things like that. Like there's 2 episodes of Muppet Babies that shaped so much of my personality. It's ridiculous. Yeah, shout out to her parents.
Shout out, thanks, parents.
You guys did a really good job, and I, as a parent, I feel like I am not up to par with mine.
I don't have kids yet, so I can't say.
I have one, and I'm telling you, it's I don't know who promoted me.
Well, I think you did good. From what this is the Sid the shrug of it. You did good.
That's it. She's alive.
She's not in the gang. She hasn't committed a war crime yet.
You know, when she was younger, I could have maybe thought she would, but now, like, knowing my kid,
she's a good kid.
She is good. Well, I don't know. She might. She every so often has those like of crazy.
Who doesn't?
Yeah. Well, Zach, was watching her the other day for me, and the other day, as we established, is any time from yesterday to 6 years ago. And she dropped a stick down like a sewer grate, and she was like, that was for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
There's a warning. I'm like,
that's an insanity right there.
I'm like, she did what? And apparently she was like trying to intimidate a goose or something, and I'm like, no! Fun fact, I'm afraid of geese. So.
No, understandable. I hate geese. One attacked my little sister once. I killed that goose.
Oh my god! How did you kill it?
I grabbed it by the neck and snapped it because it my sister was bleeding over it, and I was pissed about that. And so I grabbed that goose by the neck. I'm like maybe 12 and full of roid raging hormones because puberty's hitting me like a train. And that's, my healthy way of dealing with aggression is
Fair enough.
Kill. Now there's a dead goose in our... This is also the first day we moved into an apartment, too.
Oh my god.
And it's like, there's a big lake and a lot of geese there, and like my sister doesn't... She's 3 or 4, knows nothing of animals.
Aww.
And just wants to hug it, probably.
Yeah.
And she tries to, and just like...
Yeah, geese are mean. Geese are scary.
Yeah, like...
Was it a white goose or...
I want to say it was white. I think.
They're meaner too.
Yeah,
those white geese. They are mean. They're territorial. I don't like
on everything. And
I don't like any geese really, but like the white geese are the ones that started.
No, I will try to hit them.
And that's not code for anything political or shit. It's just white geese are scary.
Down with white geese. Round them all up. Put them in a cage. I gotta watch my tongue.
I'm trying to think of anything like story. Again, stumble, can't talk. I have to buffer real quick.
It's a great show, everybody. You guys still listening? You guys still listening?
Check in. Are you still there?
Send in your vote. Text us.
Which Sid do you prefer? Just text Sid. We'll figure it out.
Your results will be surprising.
You know, that's always been, like, one of my fears. Like, because, you know, like, you always talk with, like, your friends. Like, man, we should start a YouTube. We should start a podcast.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm going to have to be, like, really hardcore and, like, not looking at the comments. Assuming people like us enough to, or hate us enough to leave a comment. But I'm, like, I was afraid I'd start one, and then, like, I would be the least favorite. Be like, oh my god.
Oh, no, you got
Sid's so annoying. God, ugh.
No,
I hate it when she talks. Or then I'd be on YouTube, they'd be like, oh, the ugly one. And be like, oh, no.
Which was the ugly one? There's only so much I can do with my hair.
Oh, my
I just want to be pretty.
I'm a pretty girl. I'm a pretty girl. Were there ever any, like, random 90s, video store snacks? Because I feel like our video store, Mount Vernon, always had, like, weird...
They did. They always had something weird. It was always the weird popcorn bowl.
I always wanted those, and my mom always said no.
You know what? There's a good point. They're, like, $9 for, like, a third of what you get in the bag.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I just thought, like... You know, my mom had the very valid argument of, we have popcorn at home. And I'm like, but this popcorn doesn't pop into a bucket, mother.
We have a bucket home, too.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. She was right on all fronts. Like, it's like, yeah, you get the bucket. That's cool. But it's like a third the amount of, like, what you would get in a normal bag of popcorn. And it's like twice or 3 times the cost.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's me being an adult, rational person on that one. Like, I think 7-year-old Sid thought, oh, asked that same question, why am I doing? Well, no, it's because X, Y, Z. So like, oh, okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, my mom just doesn't want me to have this.
I kind of wish my parents were more just blunt and say no. They gave me reasons.
No, my mom did give reasons a lot. Like, it was usually like, Sydney, we have popcorn at home. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not in a bucket.
I want the bucket, Mom.
She's like, why do you need a bucket?
It's got Lugia on it, Mom!
Like, but my mom always very much did ask questions that just stumped me.
Yeah.
Like, she'd be like, why do you need it in a bucket? I'd be like, well, dang it!
Because they have it on buckets and cartoons, and my autism won't be settled until I eat it.
Because I need the bucket, Mom!
Because I'm kind of spazzy, that's why, Mom!
For a while at Wildcat Video, they had, which you can find them at, like, like the Asian markets now, but, like, jelly snacks.
Oh, yeah, they did have the jelly snacks.
Yeah, like, my favorite ones are, like, the ones that came in a tube, and I totally almost killed myself on a few. Like, right down the throat.
They had these, I cannot find them anymore. I don't know where they went. But they were, like, giant sprees.
Yes!
Like, they were, like, the size of, like, $50 or something.
Yes, and like they came like in a 4-pack.
Yeah,
the best freaking thing ever.
They had them at I think they had them at Book Broker. I think they had them at that hole in the wall shop right next to
I
Simpsons.
think there was like a random gas station in Mount Vernon that had them.
Oh, and the gas station on Bellmead.
The gas station. There was a gas station on the west side to Adam because we always stopped there, and then we got this like pack of gumballs.
Yeah.
There was like grape and strawberry. Oh, I just remembered one of my other like go-to like had to rent all the time. That very much shaped part of my personality.
Yeah.
We had this little store in Mount Vernon called the Pantry.
Okay.
And it was like a gas station but without the gas pumps.
Okay.
We're gonna have to make an animation of this like gas station.
Okay.
Minus pumps.
I'll draw this out.
And like it was like a little convenience store, but in the back there was like a little like video and video game like rental area.
Okay.
I always invented. I didn't invent anything.
You invented this.
I always rented Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland, which is one of my favorites
that
ever.
Is a drug trip of a movie.
It really is. It really is. But and then like my papa at times, like if he was stopping by the pantry, he just rent it for us. And then at some point they finally just bought a copy because they're like, oh my god, they just get the same movies over and over.
See, that's the weird thing in my family because we went to the video store a lot, and like your family who taped a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. So did my grandfather. But it wasn't Saturday morning cartoons he taped. He was the first person in our town to probably buy a VCR.
Oh.
So from probably 1978 to 1993, we had like a tape copy of every evening of Channel 25 or whatever he wanted to watch that night. So that's what I grew up watching, was just all these the 80s, if you will.
Oh dear.
Boy, I sure knew a lot about Mr. Belvedere by the time I was 4. But they never taped anything I wanted. That's the thing.
Oh no!
There's nothing, like, you could have taped one taping of Buckaroo Banzai. No, none of that.
No, can't have that.
Can't have that. You get what? No, nothing in the Ninja Turtle. Okay, whatever.
Rainbow Bright? No.
No
okay.
Rainbow Bright. No, I gotta watch the season finale of MASH and find out it wasn't a chicken.
You know, that does explain a lot about you, though.
Oh no, yeah, like.
Yeah, no, we had like a ton of VHS. Like, we just had cabinets of VHS tapes that my mom, like, I don't know, like, in my brain, we always had them. I don't know when we bought them. They were just
You never know when you get them. They just appear.
Yeah, but I also, like, realized, like, my mother's, like, slight diabolical side. It's probably not her being diabolical. It's just the fact that, like, my mother's, like, a superhuman.
Yeah.
And, like, she's always been, like, very neat, very clean. Like, everything's always in order. She also has, like, the most perfect handwriting in the world. But she put labels on the side of our tapes and then wrote the title on them, so that way we didn't have to sit and, like, pull out every VHS tape to see what we wanted, but she wrote them in cursive. And of course my little kid brain can only, like, even though, like, in the grand scheme of things, cursive is not that hard to read, but as a kid you're like, why are the letters connected? So I just had to, like, be like, that looks like the Return of Jafar, alright, like, let's do it.
It's just the color purple.
It's like Nickelodeon. I'm like, gotta find the orange ones.
Orange, there we go.
That's also why I never, like, forged my mother's signature on anything, because, like, she has this, like, perfect, like, script handwriting that I'm like, I can't recreate that.
Say, my father, he wrote only in block lettering. Thanks, Dad.
I'm gonna start signing everything in bubble lettering. I can't be like, Mom!
I don't know why I did this in high school. I would, like, I got really good with the cursive. But then I started doing, like, I saw, like, my favorite comic book artists, like, write their names really creatively. Like, I want my own little cool look. So I wrote Sidney Fritchley, and then I drew an Adam sign on the eye. Because I'm an idiot. In kindergarten, I wanted to act smart and know what cursive was, but I said my idea is they're just connected. So I just wrote in script, but I just connected the letters.
Now, I did know how to write at least my name in cursive, and I remember I would get in trouble for, like, writing my name in cursive on my paper. They're like, well, we don't do that yet. And I'm like, what? Why?
Just trying to be cool.
Yeah, like, I'm smart, and I want people to know, because I was smart as a kid, and I don't know what happened to me as I got older. But.
We found out about booze and theater and
oh, God, is that what did it to me?
And maybe porn.
No, that didn't get me.
That's what got me.
Maybe theater is the thing that got me. But, like, I was in a program called Challenge, which everybody's like, oh my God, like, you were challenged? I was like, no, it was, like, to challenge us. But, like, you know, because I was, like, ahead of the other kids. And so, like, we would go, and it was, like, 4 students that would, like, go, and we got to do, like, harder stuff. And we did these things called Math Olympiads, which were, like, 5 questions that were insanely hard.
I remember those, yeah.
But I was, like, looking into, because, like, one of the guys who was in it, he was kind of like my grade school rival. Like, I would have maybe been the smartest kid in my class if he wasn't there, but he was there, and he was, like, ridiculously intelligent, and it drove me crazy. Like the one time, like, I got, like, 3 right on my Math Olympiad instead of my usual 2. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get him this time. And he got, like, 4 right. I'm like, this is bullshit! Ranger, if you're listening, I'm still mad about this.
Ranger, enemy of the show.
But anyway, like, I think he's, like, in school to be, like, or maybe he is a lawyer by now, but, like, he was going to law school, and another guy that was in it, like, he works for freaking NASA now. And so I was, like, looking into, like, what some of the other ones are doing. I'm like, what about this guy? Like, surely he can't be doing that much with his life. Nope, he's a lawyer, too. And
wow.
I'm a hairstylist, which isn't a bad thing. Hairstylist, I enjoy what I do.
It's a job.
But
you're working at a very nice one.
Thank you.
Those are the most revered ones I told people.
But, yeah, shout out to my boss. You run a great place. But,
Blue Duck.
Blue Duck Hair Salon.
Not sponsoring this show.
But if you want to.
Want to, hey.
If anybody wants to sponsor.
I mean, I have a little bit of the problem. I have, like, one friend who's, like, works for Crane. And, like, good for him. Love Yvonne. Everyone else, no, I don't have that problem. I feel like I'm doing better than a lot of my friends.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't. I asked my mom one time, I was like, Mom, do you think my teachers are ever disappointed in how I turned out? My mom was like, she was deeply offended. She's like, what? No, Sydney Brienne, you are doing fine. Why would you even think that? I'm like, because, like, I think maybe I should have turned out to be more, and I didn't.
No.
I don't know what I would have been.
Look,
even though some of my teachers did say I would make a good lawyer. Like, I think I would be a good prosecuting attorney.
I can see it.
But I don't want to do that because I don't want to be a defense attorney because...
It'll make people sad.
Also, I just feel like it's a lot of bullshitting.
It really is.
They're like, oh yeah, like, she hit her head too hard one time when she fell down the stairs, and now she can't help but to kill people. Like...
Wouldn't you?
Even though, I think it was like in 7th grade, we read Rikki Tikki Tavi, which was one of my favorite childhood films, and we had to have a court case, and I got put on the defense, so I had to defend Naga Nagaina. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to prove these snakes aren't evil? So instead of going with that, I was like, no, Rikki Tikki Tavi's evil. He smashed their eggs with glee. He killed babies with glee.
Written right there.
I win.
It's the snake's natural...
So I did not deny that my defendants weren't guilty, because they were, but I'm like, if they're guilty, he's guilty.
Everyone's guilty.
The end. He just didn't try to kill a human, so I guess that makes him better.
Ooh, humans. This is human superior court here.
Gosh, you know, I think I watched Rikki Tikki Tavi. Like, I think that one with, like, our Teddy Ruxpin.
You watch these I only watched once. I don't know.
I barely remember anything about my Teddy Ruxpin, but I knew we had a Rikki Tikki Tavi, a Berenstain Bears VHS, and then, like, this version of the Ugly Duckling.
Okay.
That went with our Teddy Ruxpin. But I remember our Teddy Ruxpin not working 9 times out of 10.
You would talk like this.
But, yeah.
Let me tell you a story today.
Teddy Ruxpin.
Teddy Ruxpin here. I had... What was the tapes? I think it was... I killed a copy of the Legend that Could. Love that. Love that.
Train Kid.
Again, Train Kid. It wasn't even just trains. I liked machines and...
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, I love the Brave Little Toaster. That was like...
Oh, God, the Brave
That
Little
was my
Toaster.
favorite movie.
I love the Brave Little Toaster, even if it did scar you a little bit.
It prepared me for the adult I would become.
That's fair.
Like, worthless, dear Lord.
I hate that.
That song.
You watch it and you're like, oh.
I just can't get started. Don't have the heart to live in the fast lane. Jesus Christ.
Now everybody was scared of the clown scene, and that clown scene, like, never scared me that much. Mine was, like, when the AC unit exploded himself.
That I've used for
which
monologues.
should probably speak to myself a lot. Fuck.
Shit.
Oh, man, are we supposed to curse? Can we curse?
Sure, why not? It's a pilot.
Fair enough.
I curse like a sailor, so...
We'll bloop it out
It's
later.
a PG-13.
There we go. We can only say it so many times.
Yeah. I think we
Or we can just find some, like, 90s sound effect from something that's
too.
like,
and I'll put it in. It'll be all good.
There we go.
No, the air conditioner scene, I don't know, it scared me as a kid.